But I think that the comments were not directed toward the folks here. He's not an elected official, a representative. I think the comments were more directed toward an agenda. I think one of our problems, when I look at the title of this program, just give me a minute, please. It said present and future conditions of black community or political conditions of future, whatever it might be. But I think we can't look at the present without looking a little bit at the past. I think it's important to understand 24 years ago, when the mayoral candidate from this church, John Daniels, God bless him, was selected to run. And at that time, when he ran to become the first black mayor of this city, the historic significance of that moment galvanized and mobilized the community. Some people in this room know. It mobilized us perhaps more than ever before. So John decided to run, and it wasn't decided to blue. There were meetings held a year prior to his deciding to run. I mean, we met at Wendell Hobbs' old office on Dwight Street every Thursday night. A group cadre of us met, right, Carol? Met and galvanized and tried to put together first, organizing a black community. First, we had to should have built that foundation first, to have a base first, and then reach out to the Latino community, the Jewish community, Irish, Italian, all the political entities we need to bring together. I'm bringing this up in terms of understanding where we came from and where we are now. So to shortcut this, so John, with all the struggles, and even though John had a track record of being loyal to the Democratic Party, as y'all remember, John announced when Ben Lito was still a city mayor. You know, he was comparable in many ways to John DeStefano today. And people think he was unbeatable, he was insurmountable. But then out of the blue, Lito decided not to run. So we think, we got this now. You know, who else would stand and run against John Daniels? Well, the Democratic Party had other ideas. And they went and brushed off and dusted off a little bean counter. I mean, John DeStefano, who elevated, got the Democratic nominations, y'all remember, got the Democratic nomination over John Daniels. They never run for office, never lived before. They selected him, brushed him, dusted him out there. Now what happened was, quite frankly, that incident, that slap in the face to not just John Daniels, but to the black community, mobilized, energized, and galvanized us perhaps more than ever before. And that energy, not just in the black community, but to spread over to those progressive folk in the white community as well as the Latino community, got John Daniels elected. Therein lay the problem. John gets in, and then all hell breaks loose in our own community. We split. And eventually, over a period of time, because of our own disorganization within our community and bitterness and pettiness, what have you, the community was split. We had bitter infighting, and I quite frankly think the condition that we're in today, the present state of black politics in our community, stems from the John Daniels, which should have been a great moment for our community, and a moment we should have galvanized, mobilized behind, because the idea was, when those Thursday night meetings were being held, yeah, this ain't just about John Daniels, let's get him in and to make history, but let's plan and mentor and stroke and prepare young black leadership, men and women, who can take this city over, run this city effectively and efficiently for years to come. Obviously, that didn't happen. So instead, John DeStefano gets in. This is not to beat up John DeStefano, don't get me wrong. John DeStefano gets in, and after a period of time, he sees the vacuum that exists, the divisiveness in our community, takes advantage of that, exploits it, and in the end, over the last 10, 12 years, we have become pimped and manipulated. But pimped and, I can use the word, pimped and manipulated our community by folk downtown. And in some instances, by folk who look like us. So let's be real about this. So in terms of our condition right now, so what I'm saying is we have a plethora of organizations in our community. We got 20 on this street right here. Organizations, we're just not organized. We're not organized. We have not organized in terms of political agenda. You know, Jerry Poole talks about economic development, been organized, mobilized behind that for years. You know, people talk about the issues with our young people. Right now, presently, as we sit here today, there are scores of organizations, Paul knows, folk know that are working on gun control, gun violence, you know, the community center for the Q House. Folks are doing positive things for us, but we have yet to galvanize that into an effective movement, as Paul talked about. We need to speak on, mobilize ourselves so we can have a voice, a single voice, if you will, if we can on some issues. Which bears the question, perhaps, and this has been tried before, this is not a novel idea, but in terms of us putting together, at least looking at the prospect of some kind of leadership council, African American leadership council, that we can pull folk together. I know democracy is tough, and it's awkward. Democracy in the black community is like almost impossible. But it's something we need to take on if we're looking at the future. That way, when Gary Holder Winfield or Jack Keys or Kermit Carolina, even Cindy decide they want to run for mayor, they got somebody they can come to. We got a group in our community that say, you know what, this is our agenda. These are issues we're concerned about. Whether it's project longevity, economic development, housing, jobs, gun violence, whatever it might be, education, we have set our own agenda. So no matter who sits in the chair down on Church Street, they understand this is the black community's agenda. Yes, Paul is right. We're not monolithic. We all don't think alike, don't have the same views on everything. That's okay. We can come together around common ground, around common issues. And don't think other folks in other communities don't do this. When I was running 2 years ago for this slot, and I went and talked to people from other neighborhoods, the Latino community, the Italian community, the Irish community. The first thing they said to me was, well, Grace, I don't understand your community. Y'all got the power. Y'all got the votes. And y'all don't use it. We sit back laughing at you. They laughing at us. They laughing at us. Because they say, if that was us, excuse me, we have the power. We be in control. We run it. We do this thing. I don't understand y'all. You allow yourselves to be manipulated time and time again. What's wrong with y'all? Now, I had to take that constructive criticism from folk from outside who are looking at us from the outside in and say, what's wrong with y'all, black community? You got the talent, you got the resources, but why don't you use it correctly? We got to hold a mirror up to our collective self. To our collective selves, our churches, our organizations, what have you. Again, we got plenty of organizations, we're just not organized. We got to figure out a way to come together, sit down, and that way, whenever we come in, I'll shut up. As we come together, at least make the effort to do so, and that way we can, have a forum, a vehicle, an agenda for action. We can, be aware of the organizational, individual egos at the door, come together, sit down, and work it out. For the good of these children you talked about, these young people. When I walk down these streets in Newhallville and in Hill and Dixwell and Dwight, and these kids told on the corner, I go to them and say, why are you out here on this corner? They say, Mr. Grace, well, I had a job, or I had a place to go to at community center, I wouldn't be here. Or a kid tells me at Lincoln Bassett, Miss Harper, Mr. Grace, I can walk out on the Bassett Street, I can get a gun, and I get a library book. Huh? Come on now. This is our communities. These are our kids. So somebody, collectively, and I know Kermit and Jack and Cynthia and Gary are going to address these issues. I have faith in them that they will, but they can't do it by themselves. It has to be, we have to come up with our own agenda, our own forum, our own way of putting this together, moving this thing forward. And I just hope and pray that as a result of this forum, which I commend the River Streets for putting together, that we have more of these, that we encourage more of these over the next months, we can come together as a community and address these issues, and we can address the issue of us being, again, we have been pimped and manipulated to the point of political impotence. And I say that with some sadness, because we know better and we could do better. But we have an opportunity, just like we did 24 years ago, we have an opportunity now to clear the air, to reorganize, regenerate, and revitalize ourselves, but it's something we have to take on as a necessary mission. So I thank you for giving me that time, and I commend, thank you.